Embrace the ones who move in silence, for they are the ones who shift the world without needing to announce it. The most formidable forces are not the loudest. They are the ones whose very existence disrupts the status quo. Their energy speaks louder than words ever could, commanding respect, curiosity, and sometimes fear. You see, true power isn't something you chase. It's something you embody, and you, whether you realize it or not, are one of those rare individuals. Your presence alone unsettles the insecure and inspires the awakened. People watch you, some out of admiration, others out of envy, because they can't quite figure out what makes you so unshakable. They'll throw stones, test your limits, and hope for your downfall, but they'll never understand that your strength doesn't come from external validation. It comes from the undeniable force within you. You didn't choose this role, it chose you. And that's what makes you unstoppable. You weren't chosen by chance. You earned this through the fire of your struggles, the strength of your perseverance, and the unyielding resolve that transforms setbacks into launching pads. Every challenge you've faced wasn't meant to break you, but to shape you into the force you are today. So get ready, because what you're stepping into isn't just a revelation of why your light unsettles the shadows. It's a reminder that those who doubted you underestimated the storm you carry within. They should have known better, but now they'll have no choice but to watch as you rise, unshaken and unstoppable. Your presence is a truth that some can't bear to face. It's not what you say or do, it's what you represent. You shine a light on the shadows others try to keep hidden, and in doing so, you make them question the stories they've told themselves. Around you, their complacency feels heavier, their doubts more suffocating, and their excuses crumble under the weight of your example. It's not that you're trying to challenge them. You simply exist as proof that limitations are illusions. Your drive, your courage, and your refusal to settle remind them of everything they could be, but are too afraid to pursue. And while some will be inspired, others will feel threatened, because your very existence exposes the truth they've been running from. Your success doesn't just shine, it reveals. It holds up a mirror to those around you, forcing them to see the paths they didn't take, the dreams they let wither, and the potential they buried under excuses. It's not your accomplishments that unsettle them. It's the undeniable proof that growth was always an option, but they chose to remain still. Watching you rise reminds them of the effort they avoided, the risks they were too afraid to take, and the greatness they let slip through their fingers. Instead of confronting that truth, they project their discomfort onto you, disguising their regret as criticism. But don't let their shadows dim your light, because your growth is a reminder that it's never too late to choose more. They'll call you too bold, too driven, too much, because putting a label on you makes it easier for them to dismiss the discomfort you stir within. But here's the irony. While they criticize, they can't stop watching. They track your every move, not out of admiration, but out of a desperate hope that you'll stumble. Your failure would comfort them, proving their belief that greatness is unattainable. Yet every time you rise, you shatter that illusion, leaving them face to face with a truth they can't escape. Success is possible, and they've been standing in their own way. That's what truly unsettles them, not your confidence, not your ambition, but the undeniable fact that you are living proof that the only limits are the ones they've placed on themselves. You don't just challenge their excuses, you awaken their potential, and that's a reality many aren't ready to confront. So they run, not from you, but from the fear of their own unrealized greatness. Elevation often comes with solitude, not because you're unworthy of connection, but because your journey demands a level of focus and resilience that few are prepared to match. It's not that you push people away, it's that the higher you climb, the thinner the air becomes, and not everyone is built to breathe at your altitude. Your path isn't for the faint-hearted. It requires sacrifice, self-discipline, and a vision that others may not yet understand. This isolation isn't a punishment, it's a testament to your strength. You're not alone because you're hard to love, you're alone because your purpose is too vast for the ordinary to comprehend. And while the loneliness may sting at times, It's also a reminder that you're walking a path meant for the extraordinary. Growth is a journey of shedding comfort, shedding doubt, and sometimes shedding the people who can't endure the climb with you. As the path narrows and the air grows thin, you realize that not everyone is meant to reach the summit by your side. It's not their fault. The weight of the climb isn't for everyone to carry. But this solitude isn't a loss. It's a crucible, refining you into someone capable of standing strong when the world grows silent. When the noise fades and the distractions fall away, you're left with the unshakable truth of your own resilience. It's in those moments when no one is watching that your strength is forged, not for applause, but for the purpose that only you can fulfill. True resilience is forged in the quiet moments, when you realize that not all connections are meant to last, and not every presence is meant to stay. The chosen ones come to understand that protecting their light sometimes means walking alone. It's not that others are inherently wrong or unworthy, it's that their limited vision can stifle your boundless potential. Where they see walls, you see open doors. Where they seek safety, you crave expansion. Staying in their orbit would mean shrinking yourself to fit a space too small for your purpose. And so, you choose the harder path, the one where you honor your growth, even if it means leaving behind the comfort of belonging. Because you know that dimming your light to make others comfortable is a price far too high to pay. So you keep moving forward, not out of defiance, but out of necessity, because the path you're on wasn't designed for the faint of heart. In the quiet of your solitude, you discover a strength you never knew you had, a strength that isn't built on the approval of others, but on the unshakable foundation of your own belief. The silence around you becomes a canvas for clarity, where your vision sharpens and your purpose becomes undeniable. Solitude isn't a void, it's a sanctuary, a space where you shed the weight of expectations and step into the freedom to become who you were destined to be. The loneliness may linger, but it's not a burden. It's proof that you're answering a higher calling. Because the summit isn't crowded, and the view from the top is reserved for those brave enough to endure the climb, even if it means walking alone. You are a force of nature, a living reminder that the rules others cling to are nothing more than illusions. Your presence shakes the foundations of complacency, not because you seek to disrupt, but because you refuse to conform. Where others see boundaries, you see opportunities. Where they settle for good enough, you strive for greatness. Your very essence challenges the narratives people tell themselves to stay comfortable, the ones that say, "Don't stand out," or "Don't dream too big." Simply by being unapologetically yourself, you inspire some and unsettle others, forcing them to confront the limits they've accepted. You're not here to fit in. You're here to redefine what's possible, to show the world that playing small was never an option. You're not here to compete, compare, or conform. You're here to live fully, boldly, and without apology. Your courage to step outside the lines others have drawn for themselves is a mirror they can't avoid, reflecting the dreams they abandoned and the fears they let win. It's not your intention to make anyone uncomfortable, but your very existence challenges the stories they've told themselves about what's possible. You don't need to speak loudly or demand attention. Your quiet confidence and relentless pursuit of purpose are enough to shake the room. Resistance finds you because you remind others of the freedom they've yet to claim, the risks they've been too afraid to take. But instead of shrinking to make them comfortable, you stand taller, knowing that your journey isn't about their approval, it's about your destiny. People don't resist you because you're flawed. They resist you because you're proof that more is possible. Your courage to defy limits and rewrite the rules exposes the lies they've told themselves, that safety is better than growth, that comfort is worth more than fulfillment. You are a living contradiction to their excuses, a reminder that the life they've settled for isn't the only option. And while some may try to dismiss or diminish you, it's not truly you they're fighting. It's the reflection of their own untapped potential. But this is where your power lies. You weren't meant to blend in or make others feel comfortable. You were meant to ignite something in them, to show them what freedom looks like. Whether they resent or admire you, they can't ignore you, because deep down, your existence stirs a longing within them, a longing to break free, to live boldly, and to finally claim the life they've always dreamed of. Your haters may never cheer for you, but their attention is unwavering. They study you with an intensity that borders on admiration, dissecting every choice you make, every step you take, as if your life holds the answers they're searching for. The irony is undeniable. They claim to oppose you, yet they remain your most consistent audience, drawn to your journey because it highlights the gaps in their own. Their criticism, though veiled as disdain, is often a reflection of their own frustration, a projection of the risks they were too afraid to take. And while they may never admit it, their obsession with your progress only fuels your fire. Because in the end, their scrutiny is proof of your impact, a testament to the fact that you're living a life bold enough to demand attention, even from those who wish they could ignore you. What they fail to see is that their fixation does more for you than it ever could against you. Every word they speak, whether in criticism or gossip, amplifies your presence, making you impossible to ignore. Their whispers become the echoes that carry your name further, turning their negativity into the very fuel that propels your story. But their fascination goes deeper than jealousy. It's curiosity. They're captivated by your ability to rise after every fall, to push forward when others would quit. They wonder what drives you, what separates you from the rest, even if they'll never say it out loud. Their frustration isn't truly with you, it's with the parts of themselves they've neglected, the dreams they've let slip away. Watching you succeed forces them to face the truth they've been avoiding, that they too could have more if only they had the courage to try. Their criticism is nothing more than a spotlight they unknowingly shine on you, illuminating your path for others to see. The more they try to tear you down, the more they draw attention to your story, sparking curiosity in those who might have otherwise never noticed you. Their negativity becomes your unintentional marketing, turning skeptics into supporters and strangers into admirers. This is why you don't need to fight back. Their energy is already working in your favor. Every insult, every whisper, every attempt to discredit you only proves that you're making waves, that you're doing something worth noticing. While they waste their time focused on you, you're busy building the life they only dream of. The best response isn't retaliation, it's elevation. So let them talk, let them watch, and make sure every move you make reminds them why they can't look away. Success has a way of unsettling the familiar. When you rise, you disrupt the balance that once kept everyone comfortable. It's not that you've changed who you are, it's that your growth forces others to confront who they've chosen not to become. Your achievements shine a light on the paths they avoided, the chances they didn't take, and the dreams they let fade into the background. To them, your success can feel like a betrayal, not because you've left them behind, but because it reminds them of the ways they've held themselves back. It's easier for them to see you as the problem than to face the uncomfortable truth of their own unfulfilled potential. But your journey isn't about their comfort. It's about breaking boundaries and inspiring others to do the same, even if it means leaving some people behind. Every step forward you take becomes a mirror reflecting what others chose to leave behind, and that reflection can be uncomfortable. The shift in relationships is rarely loud. It's the quiet pauses, the hesitant congratulations, the subtle change in tone when you share your wins. Friends who once celebrated your victories now seem cautious, as if your progress is a reminder of their own stagnation. Some will minimize your success, attributing it to chance or circumstance, because acknowledging your effort would mean facing the effort they didn't make. Others will dismiss your dreams outright, not because they doubt you, but because your achievements force them to confront the reality they've avoided, that they too could have aimed higher, but chose not to. It's not your success they resent. It's the light it shines on their own unfulfilled potential. The people who know you best can feel unsettled by your growth. It's not that they don't love you, it's that your evolution disrupts the narrative they've always known. They might fear that your success will create a gap between you, or worse, force them to confront the dreams they set aside. It's not envy, it's the fear of being left behind, of watching you move forward while they stay in place. But the truth is, you can't dim your light to make others feel secure. Growth isn't something you ask permission for, it's something you claim. If your progress creates distance, it's not because you've abandoned them, but because you've stepped into a version of yourself they weren't prepared for. Staying small won't bridge the gap, it will only keep you from becoming everything you're meant to be. Let them adjust or not, but never stop moving forward. The people meant to walk alongside you will rise with you, their support unwavering, and their pride in your journey genuine. They'll see your victories as shared joy, not as reflections of their shortcomings. Those who can't keep pace, who see your growth as a threat rather than an inspiration, are writing their own story, and it's not your job to rewrite it for them. Your responsibility is to your own path, to keep climbing higher, no matter who chooses to stop along the way. The ones who truly belong in your life won't be left behind. They'll find their own strength to rise and meet you where you're going, proving that connection isn't about staying in the same place, but growing together. When you choose to rise above the ordinary, mediocrity will often cloak itself in virtue, trying to shame you into staying small. They'll label your ambition as greed, your confidence as arrogance, and your focus as selfishness, not because these things are true, but because your refusal to conform shines a light on the dreams they abandoned. It's not success they fear, it's the mirror your growth holds up to their own unfulfilled potential. Rather than face that reflection, they'll try to convince you that striving for more is wrong, that contentment is the moral high ground. But don't let their discomfort define your path. Your desire for greatness isn't selfish, it's proof that you're alive, reaching for the life you were meant to live. Keep going, knowing their judgment says more about their fears than your worth. Society often glorifies humility, but beneath that praise lies an unspoken demand. Stay within the lines, don't make us uncomfortable. Be humble, they say, but what they really mean is, don't make us feel small. Your confidence unsettles them, your ambition forces them to confront the dreams they buried long ago, and your success becomes a mirror reflecting their own fears and hesitations. Instead of celebrating your growth, they label it as arrogance, as if striving for greatness is a sin. They'll say you've changed, not because change is bad, but because it reminds them they've stayed the same. They'll call you too ambitious, too passionate, too much, because your fire disrupts their comfort. But remember, their discomfort isn't your burden to carry. Keep shining, unapologetically, because the world needs your light, even if it scares those still sitting in the shadows. People often cling to the belief that success must come at the expense of integrity, as if the only way to rise is by stepping on others. It's easier for them to assume you cheated or took shortcuts than to confront the truth, that your success is the result of relentless effort, resilience, and sacrifice. If they accept that, they're forced to ask themselves why they haven't done the same. But here's the truth they fail to see. Ambition and morality can not only coexist, but thrive together. Chasing your dreams isn't selfish, it's an act of courage, a way of honoring your potential. Playing small doesn't serve anyone, it doesn't inspire, uplift, or create change. Shrinking your vision doesn't make others feel bigger. It only dims the light you were meant to share with the world. So keep dreaming boldly, knowing that your success can be both a gift to yourself and a contribution to others. Success is not just about personal gain, it's about unlocking the ability to uplift, inspire, and contribute in ways that mediocrity could never achieve. When others try to guilt you for striving for more, understand that their criticism stems from their own insecurities, not from any flaw in your ambition. Never feel the need to justify your pursuit of greatness, because chasing your potential is not selfish, it's necessary. The world doesn't benefit from people who settle. It thrives on those who dare to dream big, who show others what's possible when limits are ignored and potential is fully embraced. So keep going boldly, unapologetically, and let your success be the proof that playing small was never the answer. Failure isn't the enemy, it's the foundation upon which greatness is built. While many shy away from it, fearing it as evidence of inadequacy, those who are destined for more understand its true value. Failure isn't a dead end, it's a teacher, a guide that shapes you into someone stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the journey ahead. Every misstep holds a lesson, every rejection builds resilience, and every setback refines your strategy. It's through failure that you uncover the tools to succeed, sharpening your vision and fueling your determination. Embrace it, not as a sign of defeat, but as the training ground where your future victories are forged. Failure peels back the layers of false security, exposing the areas where growth is needed most. It's not there to defeat you, but to refine you, to strip away complacency and reveal your true potential. In the face of failure, you learn to innovate, to approach challenges with resilience and creativity, and to stretch beyond the limits you once believed were unbreakable. Each fall isn't a setback, it's a stepping stone, a chance to rise with greater strength, sharper wisdom, and an unshakable determination to succeed. Failure doesn't define you, it transforms you. Failure isn't the end, it's the fire that forges you into something stronger. While many see it as a reason to stop, you see it as an opportunity to grow. It's not a barrier, but a bridge, testing your commitment and sharpening your resolve. Each setback challenges you to decide, will you let it define your limits, or will you rise, adapt, and push forward? What sets you apart is your refusal to quit, your ability to see failure not as a verdict, but as a vital step toward success. Through every stumble, you prove that your determination is greater than any obstacle. The chosen don't see failure as an end. They see it as a momentary pause, a chance to recalibrate and rise stronger. Success isn't measured by how many times you avoid falling, but by how fiercely you rise after every stumble. Failure strips away the masks we wear, silencing the opinions of others and forcing you to confront the raw, unfiltered version of yourself. In those quiet moments when the world feels like it's against you, the question becomes clear. Will you still fight for your vision when the odds seem impossible? Will you keep going when the path feels uncertain? It's in these moments of solitude and struggle that your true strength is revealed, a strength forged not by comfort, but by perseverance, resilience, and an unshakable belief in your purpose. Every great success story is built on a foundation of failures. The people you admire didn't avoid failure, they embraced it, using it as a catalyst for growth and a compass pointing them toward what truly works. Failure isn't a sign to stop, it's a sign that you're moving forward, testing boundaries, and daring to go beyond the ordinary. Each stumble is a lesson, each setback a piece of the puzzle that brings you closer to your breakthrough. So, when failure comes, don't fear it, welcome it. Let it remind you that you're on the path of progress, and with every fall, you're rising stronger, wiser, and closer to the success that's waiting for you. Authenticity is your superpower in a world that thrives on imitation. While others hide behind carefully crafted facades, saying and doing what's expected to gain fleeting approval, you dare to be real. You embrace your flaws, your quirks, and your truth, standing boldly in a society that fears judgment. This raw, unfiltered version of you is magnetic because it's rare, it's genuine. Pretenders may dazzle temporarily, but their light fades quickly. You, however, shine brighter with every step because your power comes from within, rooted in the courage to be unapologetically yourself. And that's what makes you unstoppable. When the heat is on, pretenders crumble, but authenticity thrives. True strength isn't found in the masks we wear, but in the unshakable foundation of who we are at our core. When challenges arise, you don't falter. You rise, because your power doesn't come from appearances, it comes from truth. In a world filled with rehearsed lines and curated perfection, your raw honesty is a breath of fresh air. People are drawn to you because they can feel it, your words, your actions, your presence, they're real. And in a time when so much is fake, being real is the rarest and most powerful thing you can be. Your authenticity is a force of nature, unwavering, untamed, and deeply inspiring. It's not a show you put on, it's the fire within you, fueled by passion and purpose, not the need to impress. This unfiltered truth about you draws the right people into your orbit, the ones who value your soul, not just the surface. But authenticity is also powerful, even dangerous, because it refuses to be tamed. While pretenders bend and break under the weight of seeking approval, you stand firm, unshaken by the need for validation. You are free, and that freedom makes you unstoppable. Your confidence is unshakable because it's rooted in self-awareness, not the fleeting approval of others. It's a quiet, powerful force that unnerves those who cling to control because they can't manipulate someone who stands firmly in their truth. Your authenticity shines a light that some find blinding, exposing the cracks in their carefully constructed facades. Yes, being real comes with a cost. Some will resent you, not for what you've done, but for what you represent: freedom, courage, and integrity. But their discomfort is a reflection of their own insecurities, not your worth. You owe it to yourself to keep shining unapologetically.